Morning.
Good morning,
Now
Michelle.
we're live.
We are live,
We're sitting there talking, thinking we're live.
dorks.
No.
You
So
know.
today we're gonna. This is microdosing with the metals,
Yep.
and we are going to talk about
Microdosing.
microdosing psilocybin. We're going to talk about the beauty of starting microdosing or continuing after, especially after a big journey.
Yeah, we just got off a big journey. I got off one recently. I had a little diversion, so I was planning on going to do a boga, and
Okay.
we got a little diversion. And I sat with Mother Isla. Literally grateful I sat with her. It was a great blessing, and it really brought me back to why I came to these medicines in the first place. So it was a really cool experience for me, and it just grounded me into why we're doing what we do, right, Michelle?
It did. You went down there a week before I did, thinking you were going to the Aboga,
Yep.
and ended up at our beautiful Ohm Jungle
Mhm.
Medicine
Yeah,
in Samara, Costa Rica.
yeah,
Our tribe, the Shawanawa tribe, 6% of all of our proceeds all across everywhere goes to this beautiful tribe.
pretty cool people.
So it was really cool that you ended up being there.
Yep, it really
And
was.
then Mark came home and I left and I went down there and I brought my dear friend Henry with me and I went and sat with the tribe for a couple of days and had an incredibly powerful experience.
Yeah, we talk about microdosing today, but going to sit with these tribes is pretty powerful, in all ways, shapes, and form. I mean, to sit with an indigenous tribe and to really feel the medicine and really feel how mana and a real medicine man works these medicines is pretty amazing. This time there was no fear with that Aya. Really wasn't. Like, she was beautiful.
This is what I found really interesting. So Mana is the page, another
Jay.
word for shaman teacher.
Hmm.
He's the page of his village. Okay, they have 11 villages. This is in Brazil, and he is the leader. And then his wife Janania. I had to say
Yeah.
that wrong. I just say Janaya because I say it wrong every
I
time.
just call her JJ.
Beautiful, beautiful people.
Yeah.
Okay, so when he comes into ceremony, when he walks into Angel's beautiful Maloka, which is the most incredible thing I've ever seen, and he comes in and he's got all his headdress on, and they're all in all their gear and all their stuff, and God, it is so powerful. But what made me giggle was a couple of days after ceremony, we had them over to our Airbnb to spend the day just talking and swimming and going out to eat. And it's so strange because you don't think of them as doing these normal everyday things, which I don't know why. They're just people, but for
Yeah.
whatever reason, right? So we talked a lot about psilocybin while I was there with them, and they are absolutely terrified of the
Mhm.
mushroom.
Yeah.
And this makes me giggle. I say to Janaya, "You're telling me that you have been drinking ayahuasca since you were probably 3 years old, right? Every day, or at least once a week when they're in the village, and then every night when they're serving their medicine." And she's afraid of the mushroom. But here's the thing, she told me. She's afraid of that ayahuasca too. Every time she does a medicine ceremony, when she's holding the medicine in her hand right before she takes it, she gets scared, just like everybody else.
I think it's a respect. I don't think it's a scared. You think?
What she said to me was, I get scared, I get afraid every time,
Yeah.
but my faith in the medicine is much bigger than my fear of the medicine. And
Yeah.
it's the same with psilocybin.
Yeah, so it was a really powerful experience for the both of us. And, we'll talk about that in future episodes. I think we're really supporting Om Jungle Medicine. I think it's a really great place. And we support a lot of other medicine communities. I mean, Aboga Soul is one that we really love, Mark Howard and his wife. And, you know, it just taught me a lot this weekend. There's a lot of things that we'll discuss in the future about what happened. And, speaking of Om, there's a little bit of
Yeah.
Om Jungle Medicine here. But microdosing after some of these experiences is really important. It's to stay connected with those neural pathways. What do you think? Keeping those neural pathways open and glowing and keep going.
Well, that's what happens with the psychedelics, right? Is that they're opening up. They're opening up.
Hmm.
The SSRIs that we are given are to close them down so we don't
Yeah.
feel anything. We are looking to open them up so you feel everything. So when you go and you have a big journey, whatever medicine it is, It's those pathways have begun to open up. So the best time to continue or to start on your microdosing journey is right after
Absolutely.
within
Hmm.
within that first week. Start the microdosing, and it continues to open up those neural pathways, because what happens is, after ceremony, you are wide open. You're
Yep.
wide open for learning, for receiving, and what you want to bring into what you're receiving are the positives, right? And the
Hmm.
benefits.
Yeah. And there's so many benefits. And, it's not only microdosing. It's like when I came back from Costa Rica and I came back home, it's like the food in general, the food and just the whole navigation of a different life here. Our food is really poison here. And it comes to a reality when you eat so natural over there and everything's so like good, and then we
Healthy,
come healthy and then
fresh.
we come here and it's like, it's really poison. This food is kind of poison. And,
They
it's
really
just
are.
another thing that it's just not about microdosing. It's about changing some lifestyles, changing different things.
It is. Sorry, guys. I did. Somebody had sent a comment yesterday on one of our pages that said, you can't just pretend that you're giving people a magic pill,
Yeah,
and then they're fixed.
yeah,
We never pretend to say that. This is
yeah,
not about just taking a pill
yeah.
or just going and sitting in an ayahuasca journey and drinking that cup of medicine. The smallest part of your journey is the time that you're taking the medicine,
Right.
whether it's a microdose or a large dose or macrodose, whatever it is. The work comes before and after.
Hmm.
That's where the changes come.
Yeah, and everybody's so different, and I think in the beginning of these microdosing experiences, or when you start microdosing or macrodosing or working with psilocybin, you know, like what I tell everybody is, it's like almost guinea pigging yourself for about 2 or 3 weeks and finding your right dosage, finding what you what works for you. Everybody wants a quick fix, and this is really different than psilocybin, and psychedelics are a little bit different than the Western world medicine. I mean, we got to kind of look at why we're coming to these medicines in the first place. And then we come to these medicines, and then things come to the surface. And when things come to the surface, we don't know how to deal with them in the real Western world. But when we start doing and we start diving into this path, we realize that bringing things to the surface is the way to get rid of them. And, it's pretty cool how this process works. It takes time, and it's definitely a process, and it's definitely a path. But for me and for so many others that I've seen, it's works. It works so well.
It does. I mean, I think that what the mission that Mark and I are on is to help people become aware of themselves.
Mhm.
And at the end of the day, from the time that we're born in this Western society,
Yep.
we're taught that the guy with the white coat on knows more about us than we do.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes that's true. Okay. If I'm having a heart attack, if I break my leg, if certain things are going on, you betcha I want that guy.
Mm.
But we are led to believe that somebody knows more about our own mental health than we do. And it's
Well,
not true. We have the answers inside us. And what these medicines do is allow us to understand that.
mhm. It's funny that like Pfizer's been around since what 1898, and they haven't cured anything. I mean, they haven't cured one thing. So, you think about what's the purpose of big pharma. They're not really curing anything.
They don't
You
want
know,
to cure anything.
I don't
They
think they
just want
do.
to put a band aid over it so that
That's
you'll
pretty
keep
interesting.
coming back.
Yeah, so we would like to really promote the natural, holistic way of doing things, and you know, some people think it's kind of out there, and some people kind of think they fall into this pattern. But we really truly believe there's healing benefits and healing modalities through not only the psychedelics. What they do is they give you the different tools and the opportunities, and they give you the tools. I mean, right? I mean, Michelle, they give you the
Give you the
tools to.
tools. They let you see the answers. You already have them all inside of you.
Yeah,
And what this does is it allows you to see that. And I think psychedelics, I'm just going to talk for myself, they have empowered me.
yeah,
They
power
have empowered me to know my power as a woman, as a warrior, as a mother, as a
as a human
sister,
being,
as a human being, as a spiritual being. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. It is not the other way around.
of
And there
course.
is so much more. There is so much more than the surface bullshit.
Mhm.
that we believe is important. And it's these medicines that allow us to go in deep and see that and really understand life at a different. Here's what Brandon Picard, who's, one of my favorite people in the
Yeah,
world,
he's a cool
always
guy.
says. It's not that your life changes. And I wish I had his little thing that he holds up. It's not that your life changes, right? That the circumstances of your life remain the same. What happens is your perspective changes.
Yeah,
And when your perspective changes, anything is possible.
life
That's the
changes.
beauty of these medicines.
Yeah, it truly is. So hopping back into like, how did you like when? How many days did you wait before you started microdosing? Like, because I wait about 3 or 4 days because you have to let that medicine kind of work, and understand it, and then get those neural pathways kind of fired and wired again. But I actually started microdosing Wachuma and not psilocybin. So, you
I
know,
actually did too. I
mm,
did that as well this time. I had made a commitment to really work with that medicine for a solid 30 days.
me too.
But I usually, yeah, I mean, I got back from Costa Rica on Thursday. I can't even remember. My brain is so out of it still. And it was within a couple of days there. Everybody's different. We're here to help. We offer 15-minute free consultations. We talk to hundreds of people about microdosing. It's an incredible thing to do. And going and having a large journey, we understand that's not possible for everybody. But having those large journeys is sort of the catalyst, and it catapults you up there. And then the microdosing allows you to continue that process.
I think it's very important to talk about that too. A lot of people are wondering, they go on 2, 3 months of microdosing and they're like, I was feeling really good the first 2 months. And, I think the medicine is speaking to you then. The medicine's like saying, I think it's time to experience a little bit deeper because there's where you need to shake the snow globe up and get those neurons and those neural pathways really wired and fired because it's time. It's time when you feel that way and this medicine's working. It's time to go a little deeper. And there's nothing, you know, I would never navigate anybody to a scary experience. For me, I really think a therapeutic dose is anywhere between 1 and 3 grams of psilocybin and just stay between that. And that's going to be totally fine for most people. If you really want to hit the high roads and go 5 to 7, I mean, definitely make sure you have somebody there sitting with you. But, I think anything beyond 5, and this is just my opinion, it's too much for myself.
Oh, for myself too. I mean, my theory has always been less is more, less is more,
Me
less is
too.
more, less
Hmm.
is more. You don't need, we just have this idea again as a Western society. We need more, 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 more.
Right.
That's
We
not
don't.
it at all. A microdose is a beautiful medicine to work with, small amounts, whatever it is that you're doing.
And some people say, "Hey, is this forever?" If it could be, if it could be, it depends.
Can
It's
be.
all up to you. If you want to keep expanding and wiring and firing and creating new neural pathways, yeah, then this could be forever. If you're content to where you're at, listen, this is your path. This is your life, right?
That's right. There's no one to tell you how to do this. Somebody said, I heard somebody say the other day something like, well, Mark and Michelle are the experts on mushrooms.
What am I
We
at?
are not. I'm not an expert on anything except myself, and
Hmm.
I'm not even that. So it
Psilocybin just helps a little bit,
just helps. It helps you to understand. And Mark and I, the whole point of what we're doing is to empower you to
Yeah,
be able to take care of your own mental health. We don't want you to keep coming back to us for medicine, a reliable source of medicine, but we want to get you to the point where you're in charge of your own mental health, and
yeah,
it happens.
definitely. You're your own guru. At the end of the day, you like this. You digging this music in the background?
I don't hear any music.
Well, why don't we
Well,
talk about a product of the month though?
yep, let's do it.
We really do. We have a bunch of products, and
We're
the 90
featuring one
days.
a month.
Yeah, the 90-day supplement was last month, and that's our most prized product. Everybody loves our 90-day supplements. And then we have our cacao caps. Our cacao caps are going to be 300 milligrams of cacao and 200 milligrams of the beautiful Mother Earth. So, a lot of people like this combination. It is a little bit of a hard opener. 300 milligrams of cacao isn't that? It's in there, but what it's going to do is going to open up your blood vessels and your little bit more and get that medicine flowing a little better.
It does. Cacao is a beautiful medicine. Whenever we facilitate psilocybin ceremonies, we always open with cacao.
Yeah,
It does several things. It opens up your heart. It brings you back to your childlike thoughts and
yeah.
feelings. cacao is a beautiful medicine, so it's wonderful to mix with the psilocybin. It really
Yeah,
opens it up and it brings out the psilocybin.
it definitely does. And I think this month, what is it, $90 for the 90-day supply? And, people always wonder, I buy the 90-day, can I just microdose with it? No, you can macrodose with it. You can do what you want with these medicines. So just always know 200 milligrams is going to be 5 capsules is 1 gram. So pretty
Sure,
simple math.
you go from there.
Hmm.
But we're here to help. We're here to answer questions. We have a ton of support.
We do. We definitely do. We have a nice team flowing, and we do our 15-minute consults, and we have a bunch of people answering those. If you ever want, just have questions. We're here to
That's right.
answer them.
Mamadose.com. Info@Mamadose, you can find us. And then really quick before we go, also I do want to just touch on Om Jungle Medicine
Sure.
again. We're going to be supporting them,
Sure.
and she has got a couple of retreats coming up at the end of this month. I just want to let you know what they are very quick because they're quite beautiful.
Yeah, they are. It's a great place to go, and people wonder. People always say, I can't afford to go to Costa Rica. I can't afford to do this. Angel and Home Jungle Medicine is a $500 for the weekend, and you can get your plane ticket for about $500. So you're talking about $1,000, couple $100 spending money, and you're going to have a spiritual awakening that is probably going to last a lifetime.
That nothing compares, and we understand that not everybody can go out of the country and can't drink medicine out of the country, and I get that. But if you are able to, this is where you need to go do it, because you are sitting in a jungle. You're with an authentic tribe. You're actually on the land where the medicine is made. I mean, it's incredible. And my friend who I took down there, he was very nervous, right?
Yeah, Henry.
Saying, "Oh, with the hospital, if there's not a hospital there." You don't need a hospital.
It
You are
does.
with the best medicine people there are, and there is no one safer. These people have been doing these medicines for thousands
Of
of
years.
years. Okay, so Om Jungle Medicine. So at the end of this month, they have got, let's see, I'm sorry, December 10th through the 16th, Journey Back to the Self. The Noki Khoi tribe's going to be there. September 20th to the 22nd, they're going to be having a retreat. And then October 4th through the 6th, a traditional Yawanawa ceremony. $550, you guys, for the whole weekend of these. All meals. It's just
Yeah, speaking of meals, we ate before our last ayahuasca experience. A lot of people talk about dieta. A lot of these tribes, don't really firmly believe in dieta. Like the Shaimanawa tribe, they eat meat right before the ceremony. We did eat before the ceremony, and kind of was a different experience. You didn't get as much nausea. So different traditions, different ways to do things. You really want some healing done in your life. You really want to step into self. This is great way to do it.
It's a great way to do it. Angel's a beautiful soul. Om is an incredible place. Both of her daughters work down there with her, Heavenly and Elle, who's 15 years old and is a little medicine woman herself.
And the coffee's growing right there. It's such good coffee.
Coffee.
Monkeys. We could go on and on. Well,
all right. Well, thank
Joe.
you. We love you guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you again next Wednesday.